During a recent day trip to San Francisco, Zeke thought that renting a lift bike to ride along the Embarcadero would be a good idea until he spent $150 for a $20 ride.
What did I just sign up for? Oh.
We are Zeke and Terry, empty nest travel adventurers from the San Francisco Bay Area.
We are very different people, often with conflicting ideas of what we consider fun when we travel. I'm more of a European museum and luxury traveler, while Zeke is happiest cycling, camping, and sleeping in the dirt.
On this channel, we will be sharing how we plan, compromise, and deepen our relationship as we travel the world, mostly together.
We live about 30 miles south of San Francisco, making it easy for a day trip into the city. During COVID, our world got very small, and I got very comfortable at home in my yoga pants and a sweatshirt. If it's not tennis, it's hard to get me out of the house.
Sometimes it takes a significant effort to get Terry away from her computer and our empty nest puppy, George. I lured her to San Francisco to one of her favorite museums, the Palace of Legion of Honor.
He also tricked me into a short hike near the Legion of Honor, which made me regret my shoe selection, but not the experience. I was rewarded with lunch at the ferry building and an e-bike ride, which proved to be surprisingly tricky, but Zeke attributes the technical challenges to the bright sun and being too busy to read what he was clicking through.
We click on everything. Funny. Our itinerary would be a great day trip for anyone in the Bay Area, regardless of whether you live here or are visiting for a few days. Because it's easy to park at the Palace of Legion of Honor, we started there. The Legion of Honor building was designed by architect George Applegarth and opened in 1924. The neoclassical structure is made of white marble and features impressive columns, creating an elegant and classical appearance.
It is a replica of the Palais de Légion d'Honneur en Paris, France, and is known for its impressive collection of European art. It houses a vast array of paintings, sculptures, decorative arts, and other works of art spanning from ancient times to the 20th century.
The museum's collection includes European paintings, particularly works from the French and Italian schools. It features artists such as Rembrandt, Monet, Rodin, and Degas, among others. Additionally, it has an extensive collection of European decorative arts, including furniture, textiles, and ceramics.
The museum regularly hosts special exhibitions showcasing various art forms and periods. These exhibitions often feature works on loan from other museums and collections. Back in December, I went with our youngest to the Botticelli drawings exhibit. We expected to see only drawings, and we were stunned to see not just the preparatory drawings, but the final pieces by their sides. It was incredible.
Last summer, there was a Tudors exhibit, and Terry was so excited to see the Henry VIII painting by Hans Holbein the Younger at the Legion of Honor after she'd seen it in Rome just a few weeks before.
I am now very curious as to the logistics behind getting a painting like that from the Palazzo Barberini in Rome into an exhibition in San Francisco in such a short period of time. It was less than 2 weeks between the time I'd seen it in Rome to when it was on display in San Francisco. Crazy.
FedEx overnight. I can only take so much of a museum before I need a refreshment, and of course, a coffee.
The Legion of Honor has a great cafe, and the pastries are very good. It's a nice way to fuel up before spending more time at the museum or venturing off to your next destination.
There are even some fun sculptures in the cafe made of various kitchen odds and ends.
And if you need a gift for someone or something to remember the museum by, there are 2 gift shops, one near the cafe and the other outside of the special exhibit area. I get magnets and postcards wherever we go.
Always exit through the gift shop. The museum is located at the northwest part of San Francisco in the Lincoln Park area with gorgeous views of the ocean side of the Golden Gate Bridge.
There is a provocative Holocaust memorial created by artist George Siegel outside of the museum that is easily overlooked depending upon where you park or how you arrive. It's worth a few minutes of reflection.
Just beyond the memorial is the Lincoln Highway, where we recommend you cross the street and walk east, that's towards the Golden Gate Bridge, to the start of the Land's End Coastal Trail. The views are spectacular and even more fantastic when you get on the trail itself. While I told Terry to dress for all weather, I probably should have told her to wear different footwear.
Yeah, my Prada boots may look good in a museum and on the streets of Paris, but they aren't as helpful on a muddy trail.
We were surprised by this trail. It was a 1.5-mile loop from the Legion of Honor and is well worth the effort. The views are spectacular and you get a bit of a cardio workout as you climb the stairs. You can always stop to take in the view to catch your breath.
We were 6 miles from the financial district and the ferry building, and it felt like we were in a completely different place. It's easy to forget you're in a major metropolitan city on a trail like this, and I really can't believe we've never been here before, especially since we lived in San Francisco for 5 years.
The scenery is gorgeous, and with views of the Golden Gate Bridge, Pyramid Rock, Blackhead Rock, Lobos Rock, and various beaches that extend up to the base of the bridge. There are cautionary signs near Dead Man's Drop.
Once we were done with the loop and we kicked the mud off of our boots, we Ubered down to the ferry building to walk around and get some lunch. Zeke wanted to get various things from the food truck vendors, which would have required standing up and eating, while I wanted champagne and oysters at Hog Island.
We were happy to see that the ferry building was back to its pre-COVID busyness, with quite a few new businesses to replace the ones that left, like Cowgirl Creamery and Sur La Table. Blue Bottle Coffee and Book Passage are both still there, along with Heath Ceramics, Miette Patisserie, Village Market, and the Gardener.
Fog City Fleet Trading Space has replaced Sur La Table, and it's quite cool with makers and shops from the San Francisco Bay Area. We saw handcrafted jewelry, apparel, accessories, apothecary, housewares, art design, and some vintage items.
We'd been looking for some art for our bathroom and found some prints that, once framed, worked perfectly against the newly painted purple wall.
Make sure to check out the back side of the ferry building for some great views of the bay, Treasure Island, and the Bay Bridge.
Unfortunately, Hog Island was closed for renovations, so we walked back to Boulette's Larder to sit and enjoy our lunch with a glass of wine from Terry.
We had the boulettes with very thin and crunchy flatbread, both of which are made fresh daily, and a mushroom pizza. The ferry building is popular with locals and tourists, which means the food has to be better than the other tourist spots. In this case, it was.
After lunch, it was time for a bike ride. There are Lyft e-bikes and standard bikes across the street from the ferry building, and we opted for e-bikes.
Zeke had bragged about how easy it was to get and ride the Lyft e-bikes, and then accidentally signed up for a $150 Lyft membership. He then had trouble scanning to check out the bike. Meanwhile, I had no trouble and couldn't resist mocking him and his technical challenges.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that. The green bike lanes are well marked along the Embarcadero and very easy to ride. Before you get to Pier 39 and Fisherman's Wharf, the bike lane takes you onto a parallel street.
If you haven't been to Pier 39 or Fisherman's Wharf, you are not missing much. It's a super touristy area with not much to really enjoy. If you have limited time in San Francisco, I'd skip both of them.
Follow the path down towards Fort Mason, which has some great views.
I've been to Fort Mason a few times for conferences and to have lunch at Green's, a popular vegetarian restaurant. There's not much going on there, so you can easily ride past without feeling like you missed anything.
As you keep going, you'll get to Crissy Fields, which used to be part of the Presidio, a former military base, and in fact, an airfield.
It has since been restored and transformed into a multi-purpose outdoor use area. There are walking and biking paths, picnic areas, a beach, and stunning views of the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz Island, and lots of dogs.
We decided to stop after an easy 4-mile ride, and we returned the bikes to the Lyft bike rack near the Crissy Fields Center, formerly known as the Presidio Building 603.
We Ubered back to the Legion of Honor after an eventful day, the kind I absolutely love. Museum time, a beautiful but relatively easy hike, yummy food and wine, a little shopping, a gorgeous e-bike ride, and best of all, time with my favorite human.
Notice she said human and not creature, because I'm pretty sure George outranks me.
No comments.
Anyway, thanks for coming along with us as we shared some of our favorite things to do when we spend a day in San Francisco.
It's always interesting to be a tourist in the city where I was born and where we lived for 5 years, but after nearly 22 years of living on the peninsula, have we really been relegated to a tourist status?
If you like this video and are interested in exploring other parts of Northern California, check out our video on Sebastopol and Santa Rosa in Sonoma County. It's part of our Northern California Quick Getaway series.
And now back to navigating our lives and the world together.